Yeah, I can't see you, Wolfie. It's kind of weird. Try again.
I believe Wolf is using the official PlugPro account.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see his hand up, or rather his speak request. There we go. Let's see. Hold on.
No problem.
Oh, there we go. PlugPro, got you. What's up, man? What's going on, Wolfie? Hey. So we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, Whale Coin Talk community and PlugPro community, to this Twitter Spaces, this AMA. I'm very pleased to be joined today by the PlugPro team. Representing them are Wolfie and Morpheus. And gentlemen, before we get started talking about the project, do you want to give us a quick background of who you are, how you got to be in the crypto space, and what you're building?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm the CEO of PlugPro. A little bit about myself. Most people know me as the former project manager for Team Xenu. Went from $1,000 market cap to 67 million. I resigned from Teams months ago and figured what better time than to start my passion project that I was slowly working on since last November timeframe. And yeah, I've done everything from just do simple DeFi investing to Telegram moderator, project management. I've done all sorts of things in the space, and that's kind of what led me to, the problem that we have in DeFi, where PlugPro is going to be the solution to that problem. Yeah, that's just a little bit about myself.
Right on. What about you, Morpheus?
All right. Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation, and I hope you guys can hear me okay. I've been having issues with my Bluetooth, but it feels like it's going through this time.
Yeah, you're crystal clear to me. I can hear you perfectly.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much again. Well, yeah, Morpheus here. My background is heavy on infrastructure, technology, and as well as organization strategy. I'm the COO of PlugPro, and just very thankful to be here, to be part of the team. Wolf is a great leader, so I'm just happy to be part of the team. Looking forward to this AMA.
Awesome. And gentlemen, let's jump into the project. You guys are building an ecosystem that works to match the right people with the right jobs while also maintaining anonymity. Tell us how it all works. Give us a high-level overview, and then we can jump into the nuts and bolts of things.
Yeah, right on, dude. That's a great question. So I'm going to start off with identifying a problem here, if you don't mind. So one of the major problems in DeFi that I think everyone can get behind, especially if you've ever, run a project, been behind a project in any fashion at all, the problem is exactly what you just said, is finding the right person for the right job. And in order to do that, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, if you're a mod or a dev or a CEO or any type of project leadership, you're getting dozens and dozens of DMs daily about people offering their services. Not only if you need the right person for the right job, you've got to know someone who knows someone, and it's strictly by word of mouth. And then you have to get in contact with that person. Then you have to go through the, back and forth conversation. Then you have to negotiate a price on their service and they might not even be legit. They could be scammers. You have no idea if they're going to take your money and run, or if they're going to give you the quality of service that you're expecting. To give you an idea, for PlugPro, we didn't want to do the meme route. Memes are kind of overrated. I wanted to bring innovation to the space. We all did. And we didn't want the cartoony, we wanted kind of a cartoony logo, but we really wanted to keep it clean and business. And it was almost impossible to lock down a designer that could do that, because all the designers in DeFi are used to doing dragons and dogs and cats. So I went through, it took me like 4 or 5 different people over the course of a couple of weeks to vet and go through to see if that they could do what I was expecting. And I would have easily paid, you know, 50, $100 to just simplify that process and go to a website that I can find that person what I'm looking for with their work. Now, I know people say Fiverr, but Fiverr is not a very good platform in theory. Like, it sounds like it's a solid platform, but in theory, it's a great platform, but it's not practical, because I actually tried finding a couple different services on Fiverr, and people were suggesting it was going to take, you know, a week or two, 5 days to come up with a drawing. I remember during the winter, I tried finding a developer on there, and they wanted to be paid like a couple $100 an hour and said it was going to take 6 months to just clone a simple smart contract. So I was like, okay, this is not efficient. Not to mention, a lot of people want to remain anonymous in DeFi when you're hiring someone, but with Fiverr and websites like the freelancing websites, you can't, because you have to pay with your credit card or debit card and give your billing address, which is usually your home address, right? So that's a problem. Now, PlugPro is going to solve that problem, because one, you can pay for everything in DeFi currency. There's no official names or anything needed. And what we're doing is a freelance platform, and I've seen like 4 or 5 different copycats come out after us. They failed miserably at making the platform user-friendly. So everything from Telegram callers to influencers to designers, web developers, Solidity developers, AMA groups, they're all going to be sections of services that people can list on. So even international moderators, it's going to be the one-stop shop where if you have an idea and you want to create a project, whether you're a dev or you think you can be, you can go to PlugPro and put together an entire team. And that team can have everything from reviews, KYCB badges, and it's going to be a weekly thing. It's going to be 35 BUSD for the week, and there's going to be a promoted section where people can pay extra to have their service listed at the top for, you know, days or a week or a month's time. There's going to be provider of the month. So the cool thing about our cell services, right, is all going to be Web3 compatible. So everything's going to be in BUSD. Now, you can list your service. The cool thing is say if I'm a developer and I'm looking for a designer and you just listed your services as a designer, I can't just view your information and contact information and everything about your service. I have to pay 10 BUSD to even view your listing. Now, once that 10 BUSD gets paid, 2 of it, 20%, goes back to the person listing it. So you're earning commission every time someone views your listing. Think of putting your, you know, your service on a job board, and every time someone viewed it, you get commission on that view. So the membership essentially pays for itself if you sell yourself well enough in the title. So that's one of the really cool things that separate us, because it's all Web3 and sellers will get commission on just views. And that's all completely developed now. We just had a bug that was fixed. Now, there's also going to be a gallery section. The gallery section, if anyone in here has been around long enough to remember the old crypto moonshot on Reddit, where you would just scroll through all these projects and titles, you'd click them and get all the information on them, whether they were stealths, fair launches, pre-sales, current projects, and it was a way to market your project. Well, 99% of them were all scams and rugs and honeypots. So this is going to be a careful, curated list of projects that have to KYC with us to get listed. And so think about going to bed at night, you know, or think about being able to go to bed and invest in a project where you don't have to wake up because everyone, you know, you don't have to lose sleep at night because everyone's saying it's the SHIB dev that just launched a midnight mooner, when you know it's not, but everyone's saying it is. I think we've all been in those projects where we don't feel comfortable going to sleep at night. So there's so many different things that we're doing on the platform, and this is just version 1. Every, you know, month or two, every couple months, we're going to have a new version rolled out. We're already working on all the stuff for version 2 of the platform, because version 1, we're in the testing phase right now, and getting some, you know, cosmetic stuff worked on. And within days, we're looking at releasing the platform, and it's going to be big. There's also going to be a swap on the platform. There is, I should say there is, not there's going to be. That was one of the first things developed on the platform. So you're going to be able to transfer for PlugPro tokens. You can buy our token. We can always add tokens to it, but mainly it's there to act as an ATM in a sense. So if you don't have BUSD, because everything on the platform takes BUSD, if you don't have BUSD, you can swap your BNB or whatever you have for BUSD on the platform itself. There's a swap on the tab on the top right of the platform, which is really nice. It's like having an ATM right next to an all cash business. So the reason why we chose to do this in BUSD, because we don't want market volatility to affect business on the page, and we're not. We're also going to open it up to a collaboration zone where people from all different backgrounds can get together in chat rooms and talk about their ideas and come together, formulate a team. We're going to have workshop classes in the following versions where people can get our stamp of approval. Essentially what it's supposed to be is we're going to market it so your average Joe that maybe they just got laid off from COVID, or they got fired, or they're full-time students, or they even work a full-time job, but they make extra money just by playing around on their smartphone, moderating a Telegram group, muting people, making sure people are following the rules, pinning things, muting chat. So people can earn a few $100 a week just by modding. It's insane. So we're trying to centralize all the talent while still remaining on a decentralized platform, if that makes sense, and using a decentralized currency. There's so many different ways that we can open this up to logistics, to the medical field, so many different fields for a talent and HR platform, all using decentralized currency, which is pretty cool. That's kind of like the Cliff Notes version of what PlugPro is all about. It's going to bring the dozens and dozens of people that DM everyone a day to sell their services. They're essentially going to save their entire day's work and just be able to centralize their talent onto our platform.
So, Wolf, if I
go for it.
I'm so sorry. Just wanted to add a couple of things here.
Yeah, of course.
This is a big passion of ours. I feel that this opens up the opportunity for a lot of people that perhaps are not in crypto to get in crypto, and getting in crypto in a very safe way, first of all, but also using their current abilities and strengths. Let me give you an example. There's probably graphic designers out there, voiceover actors. I mean, people with a lot of business background and strategy that perhaps they use this strategy and this business mind in a non-crypto way, right? Maybe that's what they do. That's how they get paid in fiat, for the day-to-day job. Well, they're gonna have the opportunity now to be able to use and leverage those abilities, those strengths, that experience that they have in crypto and get paid in crypto, right? So now they can create an account, they can create a profile in a platform with their strengths, their abilities, and sell their services to projects. And with this, the intention is to be able to start to set up a standard, a new standard, starting with Binance, right? But really, it's going to be across all crypto. A new standard of professionals, people that have the professionalism to create very innovative, innovative applications, right? That can also be part of a team that is also professional, right? Imagine having a very professional developer with a business mindset, with a marketing professional that maybe has a lot of marketing experience in the non-crypto area, come together, and maybe a leader that has experience in the non-crypto, but now bringing all this to crypto. I mean, we're going to be able to revolutionize the way projects are handled, the way projects are started, the way projects are executed, right? And that is the key right there, because so many projects start like meme, and let's see what the application is going to be. Let's see what the utility is going to be after the fact. But if people get together and strategize on a utility that solves a problem, like what we're doing today, right? We're solving that problem of connecting the plugs with the developers, right? That is the first step, and there's so many things coming as well.
Guys, so anonymity is important to a lot of people, especially in this space. And obviously it's a double-edged sword, because oftentimes anonymity allows people to exploit projects, to rug, to create honeypots. I mean, the list goes on. So how exactly, and you've mentioned that you were trying to create an ecosystem, a platform that brings all of this different talent in the crypto space together in one place, but how are you guys allowing for job seekers to be visible, have their reputation visible by reviews, while also retaining that anonymity?
That's a good question, man. So the way the membership breaks down is into 3 different tiers. One is $5. That's just, you get one listing, one photo, and only a few characters to basically sell yourself. The next one's going to be $20 or 20 BUSD. That one is a little bit more characters to sell yourself. I believe you get 3 pictures of samples of work, and that's that the original comes with. And then the platinum, which is 35 BUSD. And that's going to give you everything plus more characters. I think it's a little over 800 characters to sell yourself, 5 samples of work, plus a KYC and review section. So if you pay, what's going to happen is after the first few days, people are going to realize that, wow, you know, there's 10 other designers on here. Why am I not getting hired for anything? Well, it's because you didn't pay for the premium. And Joe Schmo, who paid for the premium, has a KYC badge with us and has reviews. They paid the extra $15, so people are more apt to hire them. So what we're doing by offering that KYC part of the premium membership is we're making us able to hold someone accountable. We're making it possible to hold someone accountable if they do something malicious. Not only that, the cool thing about the platform is the escrow system. So there's a full escrow account that's implemented in the Web3 design. And what's going to happen is, say if you're a designer and you want $200 or say $500 for your work, right, for a logo for someone, the person, the developer looking for that logo is going to pay $500, but it doesn't go to the designer yet. It goes into an escrow account until the work is completed, and then both parties click approve to release payment, and then the payment gets released to the seller in full too. That's how Fiverr makes their money, is they actually take of the total payment. It's like 20% or something. And we're not doing that. We're just taking our payment up front in a membership fee. So the escrow account would alleviate any people going back and forth with, oh, he said, she said stuff, because we have the ability to manually release payments ourselves if someone were to raise a ticket, which is important. So we've identified that issue, and we've created multiple avenues to kind of combat that problem.
And also, when it comes to anonymity, you know, I think the part of this is that it's a fully Web3 integrated platform, right? So there's no need to add any kind of email address or name or anything like that. If you want to stay completely anonymous, you can stay completely anonymous. You can add your Telegram contact, if you will, if you want to, right? You have the option to add your email if you desire, or your website, you know, certain socials that will be available to you. However, you don't have to, right? You don't have to create an account using name and email. You can stay completely anonymous. And having the escrow account, the escrow process there, well, it really allows for very transparent transactions that will happen, you know, and so it's all Web3 as well.
Sorry, guys, having some technical difficulties on my end. Okay, great. So there are different tiers, and you guys have kind of given us a breakdown of how you plan on providing anonymity. Wolfie, you explained at the beginning that Fiverr fails. There's a lot of areas where Fiverr fails. Can you talk specifically about which areas you mean and how PlugPro is kind of beating the competition in that regard?
Yeah, of course. One of the reasons, and I'm not a Fiverr expert by any means, one of the reasons why it fails is because there is it's open to so many different people, not just crypto, that I feel like a lot of people that are looking on Fiverr, at least in our community, for what we need it for, developers and investors, creators of all different types, what we're looking for is what we're used to in Telegram, and that's the quick response. That's the quick product turnaround time. You can message someone, you message a friend, or and ask, hey, who's a good influencer on Twitter? Or, hey, what's a good AMA group? Or hey, who's a good designer? And you're used to getting a message back very quickly, and then you get in contact with that person, and they're like, hey, I can have it to you by tonight or tomorrow. The problem that I noticed with, or even a developer, if you wanted a smart contract launched or deployed, and have them deploy it the same day, most likely, or the next day. It's really simple. But it seems like everyone on Fiverr that lists their services, it's the complete opposite. It seems like they find every excuse in the book to make it take longer. So it's almost detrimental to use the platform. At least every single thing that I used Fiverr for, I didn't find a single person. And it's because everyone takes too long. It takes too long to get back to the person, the message to get sent through their inner chat system. It's a huge pain. And with PlugPro, we're going to cut that because it's more centralized to DeFi, to decentralized finance. So the niche stuff that people in DeFi are looking for, like an AMA, it's gonna be much more user friendly than using a platform like Fiverr that's open up to a much larger platform and audience of people. And that was one of the biggest problems that I saw with Fiverr myself.
That's a great point, Wolfie. I honestly don't even feel that there are competition at this point. The two different business model or approach that the market that we're trying to target, right, is a very niche target. And the needs that our niche target has is very different than what Fiverr is currently fulfilling, right? Fiverr is fulfilling a huge crowd that is not interested in crypto right now. They're just a lot of people that are doing things are freelancers in the non-crypto world, right? So we are targeting a very niche audience that needed something like PlugPro, right? Because there's a lot of scammers out there right? You have scammers from the developer side and scammers from the actual service provider side. And so we wanted to solve that problem with this platform where we are able to bring these two together and prevent those scams from happening, right? So the escrow system is going to allow us to do that. So our target market is really more on this niche services that are needed in crypto.
Gentlemen, can you give us a breakdown of what the PlugPro platform looks like on both the buyer and seller modes? I know that the seller mode is going to have a tiered system. Maybe give us some insight into that, and then also explain how the buyer side looks like as well, please.
Yeah, of course. I'm actually pulling it up right now. And if anyone's interested, what I can do too is I can explain it on here, but either tonight or tomorrow, if you guys join our Telegram, I can schedule a VC and do a screen share and go through the actual platform. With everyone on screen share too. So the bus services, you're obviously, physical aesthetics. You're going to see a list of all the services on the left. I'll go through those right now. You're going to have AMA groups, article writers, billboards, blogged finance ads, bot professionals, BSC scan ads, BTalk ads, celebrity endorsements, centralized exchanges, CMC CG, community management, content writers, web developers, Solidity developers, other developers, DEX tools, graphic designers, influencers, international mods, marketing specialists, market makers, meme makers, mods, NFT creators, PooCoin ads, shade and raid and chillers, project consulting, project leadership, project management, social media management, Telegram call channels, Telegram account creators, Telegram DJs, videos and animations, Weibo, YouTube, and others. And then directly to the right of that, you're going to have a listing. The very top has the promoted listing, which people can pay for. And then underneath that is everyone's listing with how much it costs, the title, and then a button that you can click to view listing. So there'll also be a KYC badge on those individuals who chose to KYC with the premium membership. So you go to view listing, and then it won't let you view the listing until you pay the 10 BUSD. Once you pay that, the payment gets split up that no one sees. It's behind the scenes. $8 goes to the platform and $2 goes back to the person who listed it. Once you click and pay for that, you can view their description, sample work photos and files, and then their contact information. The means of contacting is Twitter, Telegram, website, and email. And you can click buy. So that's when you bring up the escrow system. Everything you do populates your wallet because it's Web3 based, and everything's paid in BUSD. Now you go over to the sell services tab. As soon as you bring up sell services, it gives you the option to select one of 3 memberships. And then below you get a project listing form or a listing form. And that's where you can put your title down, the price, your description, what you're selling, and under which category it gets listed on. And you can change your profile to have your own avatar, your own picture, with all your contact information and everything. And that's how it's going to look. I hope I was able to paint a picture. Now, every bit of revenue that's generated from the platform, around half of it is probably going to go back into the token in the form of buybacks and burns. And then obviously, a good chunk of the rest will be put towards marketing the platform, which ideally we're going to pay a marketing firm outside of crypto to market the platform because we want to target everyone, just not in DeFi. And then a small portion of whatever's generated will go towards salaries of employees.
Right on. And so I want to jump a bit deeper into the app and specifically the gallery. You talked about that at the beginning. You said it's going to be similar to crypto moonshots on Reddit, but obviously filtering out what we consider to be probably 99% scams. How exactly are you guys vetting these projects? What does your KYC badge require? And kind of how are these projects how are these projects ranked on your site? How do you just determine their rating from, let's say, an A+ to an F?
So that's a good question. There's not going to be like a rating system from us. It's going to be first come, first served to keep it fair and unbiased. We don't want to put the 100 mil project on top of the 500K project, especially us being where we're being. We're still at a really low market cap. And, so we understand what it's like it drives us all crazy when we see those projects that are absolutely terrible that end up rugging or draining liquidity that hit 200 mil. And, we are where we are. We are where we are for a reason, but there's not going to be like, we're not going to separate the projects. They're not going to be graded. If they KYC, then they're going to be listed. It's going to be first come, first serve. And they'll be listed on there forever. Now, as far as the KYC requirements, we're going to have in beginning stages, we're going to manually do it ourselves. We're going to require pictures, IDs, addresses, country of residence, all the good stuff. And then we're going to see how that works manually. I anticipate after the first couple to few weeks, we're going to get a huge workload. And then we're going to contract it out to an actual KYC company to take care of it.
Beautiful. Do you have an idea of which KYC company, or are you still working on that?
Still working on that. Yeah, not sure. It shouldn't take long to really have them do a thing, though. It should be pretty quickly when we do reach out. So I've spoken with Spy Wolf a few weeks ago, and then I don't remember the other one, but I have a few listed on a Word document that we would be looking at.
Cool. I read on the white paper that you guys are going to be generating ad revenue as well. Do you have any restrictions on what type of ads you let on? How much is it going to cost to advertise on your platform? Give us some more insight into that, please.
Yeah, of course. That's a good question. So we realize that we're targeting 2 different types of people, right? Providers and then or 2 different types of things: providers, service providers, and projects. So on every page, there's going to be banners. and it's going to be like PooCoin ads basically, but they're only going to be from projects that have been KYC'd and vetted by us. That doesn't mean we're guaranteeing anything. We're actually having an attorney type up a disclosure, relieve us of all responsibilities, because a project, I've seen people rug on camera before after KYC. People can just pay some random Joe to KYC for them so they can do something malicious. KYCing and docs devs, it doesn't mean anything. It really doesn't, because you have no idea that's the person that you need to hold accountable. And if that's their real information, there's no way to truly make something safe. It's just kind of to add more criteria to the list to lessen the chances of something malicious. So there's going to be the ad banners for KYC projects, and then a provider of the month, which is basically like an advertisement. So if you're like a really popular designer or dev and you've got the money, you can pay, which the fee itself is going to be not through the platform. It'll be through the back end by contacting us for the provider of the month, where it's going to give you 4 sections. So 4 providers can list for the month on that. And that'll be pretty pricey. I mean, it'll probably be a couple $1,000s for the entire month, but you got 30 days, you're up there on the front page. So, you can make that back on one job, and you can take on as many jobs as you can handle yourself. Now, the actual banner is, we're working on those prices right now.
Understood. And has your token launch happened already? How did it go? Tell us about the private sale, the pre-sale, hard cap, all that good stuff. Give us a high-level overview, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched May 2nd, and it was a stealth launch. The reason we did that is because, like I said, former project manager Cheems, and they have a launch pad called CPAD, which we originally wanted to do a pre-sale, but there was a lot of technical issues wrong with the launch pad. And I mean, I had hundreds of people DMing me saying that they were struggling with it. So I decided to make the executive decision and call it and say, all right, we're going to plan B, and plan B was a stealth launch. And by stealth launch, I mean true stealth. Not even the team knew when we were going to launch. I gave everyone in the community a 24-hour window. And from midnight to midnight is the window that we could stealth. No one will know. Not even, our COO Morpheus knew. I wouldn't even give him the time that we were launching. The stealth launch went beautifully. We launched with 1 BNB in liquidity at a 10K market cap, and our all-time high was right around $1 million, and we're trading around half that right now. We launched like 3 days before the market absolutely tanked in the beginning of May, the same week. So if you guys aren't familiar with DeFi, not many projects that launched within a couple of the market crashing lasted through it, which is kind of an accolade for us. It's I feel proud talking about that, because we're still strong. We're holding strong. All of our top holders are whales in the project, and baby whales, I'll say, because of our, in terms of our market cap and the worth of a max bag right now. But they're all top holders, and they believe in the project. And the stealth launch, I've never seen in crypto a launch go as smoothly as our stealth did, which was it was nice, and it was very humbling.
I love that. And I'm a big fan of stealth launches. You took token utilities slightly, but I wanted to expand upon that a bit more. What utilities does your token provide with respect to the overall ecosystem?
So, are you asking how the platform's going to benefit the token, essentially?
Yeah. How are token holders interfacing with the platform? How do they benefit from it? How do long-term whales have an advantage over those that don't own the token?
Yeah, great question. So first and foremost, being a holder, you're going to benefit from the buybacks and burns that the platform is going to, revenue that the platform is going to generate is going to benefit all holders in buybacks and burns. They're going to be big. Also, there's going to be so many different functions of our platform, and I'm going to use PlugPro as a way of creative pay. So one of the big ones is staking. So you're going to have to buy, hold, and stake a certain amount of PlugPro tokens to gain access to the gallery. Right now, it's a $300 flat rate fee, but in version 2, it's going to be staking. So you're going to stake PlugPro tokens for either 14, 30, or 60 days, however long you want your membership access. There's also a couple other things that we have to kind of keep because there's been, for security reasons on the down low, and to ourselves because there's been so many copycats that there's a few things that make us stand out that are exclusively PlugPro ideas that I want to remain that way. But I can assure you that every holder is going to benefit tremendously for the platform. But right when we launch, it's going to be through buybacks and burns of the revenue to the platform.
Got it. And I read specifically about token staking. So curious to know what amount of PlugPro, what amount of the PlugPro native token needs to be staked in order to receive access to your KYC team projects, and will there be multiple tiers?
So yeah, the tiers will be in the time of the membership length, 14, 30, and 60 days, respectively. And as far as the first part of your question, I think I don't understand.
So I'm just kind of going off what I read on your white paper.
Yeah.
It said that you're able to stake the PlugPro native token.
The amount is your question, right?
Yeah, in order to receive access to KYC team projects.
Yeah, so that amount's going to be released right before we come out with the tokens, but it's going to be based on a fiat value, not a token value. I'm sorry, it'll be based on a token value, not the fiat value. I might be mixing that up.
No.
So originally staking was coming out with version 1, and the reason why I just confused myself is because, like I said, it was supposed to come out, the staking, with version 1 originally, but because of a few alters in the smart contracts that we needed changed, like the split commission on service payments and stuff, we had to push that to version 2. But it's actually probably going to be like version 1.5, really, because the staking has come out. They're already working on it. So the staking is going to come out shortly after. But as far as a fixed amount, I don't have that answer for you yet. It's going to determine where we're at when we release staking, so people have a fair chance to accumulate, before we're sitting at millions market cap wise.
Wolfie, how far into the roadmap are you guys currently?
The roadmap right now, we are currently, so let's see here. The roadmap, sorry, I was on the platform website, not the actual website.
Oh, you're good, man. Take your time.
So we've already passed phase 2. So we're on our perfecting into phase 3, the perfecting going into phase 3. So we're working on, we kind of broke it up the way we did it. So we've executed a lot of that. Right now, we're onboarding projects. We're getting projects to list on the gallery section because I want them listed before we go live, at least some, and then more will come. So we're on the execution. I'm sorry, not the perfecting. So we're going into phase 2. We've already exceeded all the phase 2 stuff. We're just executing it now.
Understood. Wolfie, you mentioned that ever since you guys started working on this ecosystem, there are others that tried to copy you. I don't want to throw shade in, but I'm curious to know, of the ones that are still around, who do you consider to be, and what are their names? Like, who are these major competitors, and how do you feel that you are still distinguishing yourselves from the rest of the pack? No pun intended.
Oh, that's a good question. So right now we have no competition because all 4 projects rugged or honeypotted. Every single one of them.
Oof.
Every single one of them. Yep. I watched every single one of them, and every single one of them were scams.
And well, start with one. How big is your team, right? So obviously you guys are trying to build a legit ecosystem, and it requires a lot of developer power. So, how many developers do you have working, and outside of developers, how big is your marketing team? How big is your ops team? Like, give us some insight into that, please.
Yeah, good question. So as far as the development team, we have a platform developer who has a whole team behind him for front end, back end, and then the Web3 portion. Um, and then myself, I'm the CEO. I'm the founder and CEO. Morpheus, he's the COO, and that's like the main C-suite that we have. We have Crypto Charizard working on marketing, and he really focuses a lot of his time on running the community and our army. Um, so between him and Morpheus, and then the mods, I don't think this project would be where it is or would have lasted without the help of we have like, and as far as that, we wanted to fill the C-suite, right? But for such a small project, that would be, we couldn't scale up that big to fill an entire C-suite just yet. I wanted professionals, subject matter experts, for each individual position. So originally I felt that we would be onboarding those positions as we progress and grow. They'll be much more needed. One problem that we ran into is obviously staying alive. We have to pay everyone. We have to pay mods. We have to pay all these positions. If we onboard all these C-suite positions, we have to pay them accordingly. And, it's difficult to do when we were surviving through the market that we just went through. So the less positions filled was almost more productive and allowed us to push through that market, if that makes sense.
Yeah, crystal clear. Can you give us some insight into your marketing campaign, right? Said, what strategies are you guys using to get your name out there, to distinguish yourselves and generate exposure for your ecosystem?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, of course, I can't give away all the secret sauce, but right now, pre-platform, the way I broke it up, months ago when we launched, I wanted to do pre-sale marketing, pre-launch marketing, pre-platform marketing, which is exclusive to basically all DeFi. So we had PooCoin ads go on. We had every Telegram call channel post us. We had an AMA with Travlad. We did all sorts of stuff. I've been speaking with Gokhshtein Media about David Gokhstein's might be having an AMA with him, which has been brought to the table. I just would prefer to wait till the platform's out so we have more substance to talk instead of the typical AMAs where it's like tokenomics on all this stuff that's just not as important as talking about the substance, the meat and potatoes of the platform. So I plan on doing an AMA with David Gokhshtein soon, and typical exclusive DeFi marketing. Now we're going to transition, like I kind of briefly mentioned a few minutes ago. As soon as a platform releases, we're going to transition to more standard marketing approach. So there's different way to utilize things, right? Projects will flex and they think that billboards are the best things in the world. I think it's just a flex for a token. Now, if you take our platform and we put it on a massive QR code in the middle of Times Square, so anytime someone holds their phone up and they get brought to our platform where they see that anyone in the world can simply to Telegram and earn a few $100 in a week, that's different marketing as opposed to throwing up a cartoon dog and saying, hey, buy me, So there's different ways to do things. And, I've been in DeFi for a while. I'd like to think between all of us at the helm of the project, we can market effectively in DeFi, but I'm not going to pretend to be the subject matter expert when it comes to like actual corporate marketing campaigns and stuff like that. So I'm going to hire the person that is the professional and subject matter expert. Now, I will say one of our most effective marketing methods so far has been our army. I mean, we are hammering the raids on Twitter every day. We have contests for the top shillers that win free BNB every single day. 7 days a week, 24/7, people are winning BNB in our army just to participate in the raids. I would have to honestly give a shout out to Crypto Charizard in respects to the army and Alex. They do a phenomenal job running the army, and obviously it wouldn't be where it is without everyone, all the raiders in there who do a phenomenal job day in and day out. So that's all I can really touch on as far as our marketing strategies.
That's a lot, man. I love it. Really quick, have you guys been audited?
Absolutely, tech rate. We haven't had the CERTIC audit yet. I wanted to kind of conserve what we had as far as funding to last us through the bear market. As far as like paying everyone, making sure the army's fed and paid, making sure people are still winning their beans, so we don't have to put a plug in that. So I haven't paid for the CERTIC audit, but I do plan on getting a CERTIC audit and SpyWolf audit.
Love it. Wolfie, Morpheus, I really love having you on today. I want to open up the panel to audience questions, but before I do, is there anything that I didn't ask about that you want to touch upon and share with our community?
Yeah, there's one thing I would like to mention for everyone. For today and tomorrow, I wanted to make a buy promotion of 0% buy tax. If you guys decide to look into PlugPro, do your research, do your due diligence, and make the commitment to want to buy PlugPro tokens, you will be getting everything you pay for today. Normally, we have a 10% tax in and out. Today and tomorrow is going to be a 0% buy tax. So don't wait too long. But other than that, that's it.
Yeah, and for me, I also wanted to mention a couple of things. So the platform, right? So platform coming is going to be version 1, right? In software development, there's something called a MVP, or minimal viable product. And while that's a good idea, right? Sometimes a lot of projects release something that is not fully ready feature wise, right? Or is not fully functional, right? And for us, that is very important. For us, want to make sure that you have a really good user experience that is very intuitive, that is very user friendly, right? It is something that's going to work. And so we're working very hard on that. There was a lot of things that we just discussed that are also coming in future versions. So what I want you guys to expect is version 1 to be a first version, right, of our platform. However, there's going to be multiple updates that are going to be coming constantly to make it even better. So we want to make sure that we open it up for the public as well, to make sure that you guys provide some feedback on potential capabilities, features, and so on. So if you guys, once the platform comes out, feel free to share your feedback, share ideas, and or future features that could be added to the platform, because we're going to continue to work hard on this to make the best platform possible. You know, we like perfection, right? And I know nothing is going to be perfect, but at least we want something close to it, right? So we're working very hard on that.
Love it. So, going to open up questions from audience members. I want to start with Captain Levi, and then we can move down the list.
All right. Thanks a lot, Noah. Hi, guys. Great project explanation. I just have a few questions regarding the project. I'm currently on your white paper now, and the first sentence that caught my attention was the fact that you're acting, it seems like a freelance related project. The question that usually first question that pops up in my mind concerning freelance related projects is the fact of stereotypes. A lot of projects have actually have something similar, and the question I ask them is that how would you handle stereotyping? And this is what I mean by stereotypes. Let's say I'm from Nigeria, for example, and in this particular kind of activity, maybe UI UX. Some people would not want to, they will simply want to filter out some certain countries because of stereotypes. Say maybe because they've done a particular project and it didn't really go well, so they judge everybody based on that previous one. So is there a way that you will be going around it?
So that's a good question. If I understand it correctly, you're asking if there's a way to avoid people stereotyping, so they're kind of forced to see people and what they're offering as opposed to generalizing someone and canceling them out, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good question. So in version 2, there's going to be different filters, but for version 1, when it comes out, we obviously don't expect 10,000 people to list on each individual category, to where it would even, like, a filter wouldn't even be that efficient in version 1. So people won't know your country. All they're going to know about you when they look is what your title says, how much you're listing your service for, and how to contact you. They're not going to see that you're from Nigeria or China or the US. They're not going to see any personal information like that besides what you give them. So you'll be judged based off of your title, your description, and the sample work that you provide. That's how you're going to be judged, not by anything else.
All right, but when I'm registering, I have to fill in those details, those essential details, right?
When you're registering what?
When I'm registering, say as a freelancer, I'm going to have to put in those essential details.
The last part I heard, as soon as you sign up and register.
He's asking if there's going to be essential details. So we're not going to ask you for your name or your email or any of that. No. I mean, we understand the importance of being anonymous, right? Especially in crypto. So there's not going to be questions that are going to make you dox, basically, right? So that's not going to happen.
It's going to ask you for your email and your Twitter account, but you don't have to include it. But the more contact information you provide on your listing, the more apt people are going to want to hire you for a job.
Yes, I completely understand the fact that transparency is actually important in the freelance space. It's a great circle to that question. Here's my next question. The next sentence actually caught my attention because it actually said that your mission is not only to solve problems identified in the DeFi space through innovation and technology, but to set that projects should be planned, developed, executed, and managed. Does this mean that you will have a team that's monitoring the activities between the freelancer and let's say the person that hired the freelancer? Would you have an escrow team that's monitoring, say, a contract that's happened between the freelancer and an escrow, and those hiring?
That's a good question, and to answer it, no. But there is going to be there's a ticketing system. So if someone had an issue with the service they received, or they don't want to release the payment, or there's any type of disagreement, then you open up a ticket on the platform, and that's when we get involved, and we can manually release payments or deny them. But we're not going to monitor. We're not going to have a team to monitor the work. That would be, I mean, once there's tens of thousands of people using this platform, that would be very unrealistic to monitor.
Okay. So the fact that there's actually you're actually hoping to get loads of people, over time these problems will become quite difficult to tackle manually. So would you be running any automated system, say maybe artificial intelligence or machine learning over time?
Sorry, Wolfie. Let me add there. So there has been definitely conversations about artificial intelligence and machine learning to be incorporated into that, and that could be within the filtering, the search, and all that. As time goes by, all those capabilities will be added, right? There's a lot of really cool technology that can be incorporated into a platform like ours, and that's more definitely something that will help us, right? I mean, we're talking about scalability, right? How do you scale something, an idea, to where you provide the same user experience, the same quality of service as you scale out and you scale and you become a bigger organization, and that requires incorporating more capabilities from the technology side, right? And what you were reading on the white paper, right? We are definitely, our intention is to set a new standard in crypto, right? Why? Because we've seen what happens with some of the meme projects and some of those projects that are like a corporation, like an organization, right? And we've seen some that have tried to do that, right? And we want to make sure that we're setting out the standard, especially on Binance, right? On the Binance network, so that people can see that you can create great things running projects in a very serious way with professionals at the helm, right? That are leaders are looking at solving problems, and we're setting that standard. So that's what we meant with that on the white paper there.
All right, Morpheus, here's my final question. I'm seeing your advertising. I believe people who do good jobs will receive a recommendation system on your platform. But would that recommendation system, would the algorithm also be affected by, say, I want to post an ad that, okay, I'm posting an ad that this is what I actually do on my platform. Would that also count as a recommendation system?
So there are two sections, right? You have the ad section. In the front page, you're gonna have regular banners and then provider of the month. That is where service providers will be able to create their own ads, pay for their own ads of particular services that they provide, and you can highlight that particular service that you provide. The review section is more about the experience that the buyer had from the seller, right? In this case, maybe you are a provider of a particular service and I hired you to do a service, and man, I am so happy, you did a fantastic job and I want to recommend you. Well, when I release the funds, the developer is going to have this pop-up where they have the ability to write a review for this service and or service provider. So I write the review there, and then that review will be posted under your service.
That'll be all from my end, Morpheus. I really appreciate your detailed answers, Morpheus and Tony. If I have any other questions, I'll just contact you through your Telegram group. Over to you, Noah.
Yeah, great questions as always. I'm Captain Levi. Let's go with Tony Fungible Planets Yaga, or Ariagada, if I pronounce that correctly.
Right.
Let's go.
Good job. You got it right. Okay. One of my questions were answered, so thank you whoever answered the question about the disputes or whatever. The other question I had is how would you deal with providers who have multiple, staff members? Like, say, if I have 15, developers or 8 graphic artists, and essentially everything comes to me, and you're taking the work that I would normally try to do, and I would rather use your service, right? How would I be able to split the pay, or do I have to disseminate that among the people doing the work specifically? Are you going to have? So the question is, um, are there? What is the setup of how I can pay each individual on your system, or is it just one pay to come to the source and then I disseminate it like that?
Yeah, that's a so that's going to be on you to manually do, but you can list as long as you pay the fee weekly. You can list under every single one of like the 30 something categories. So you can make like 30 listings, and then when someone reaches out to you, you just delegate that task amongst your workers and your crew individually. So you still maintain that power, or else you're basically giving it up to us. So that's like the best way for that to work, is you to still manually do it, but you just list.
Sorry, Wolfie. And we've talked about, in the future releases, future version, as we continue to progress, of the capability of having teams, right? The ability to have a leader that has and can create a team. I mean, that's definitely going to be something that could be coming in the future. We've discussed that a few times because we understand there are teams of moderators, for example, or graphic designers, and there's this particular company that maybe wants to list there. So, you know, things are coming. Things are coming. We're definitely considering things like that.
Okay, so what you're saying is like, so say if I have just a service, I could just set up that listing for that specialty, and then the development work as a secondary listing.
Correct. In the meantime, you can definitely do that. Right, right. So once you pay the fee of the weekly, then you can create all these different listings that you need under either you or your developer that you have in your team as well.
Great, great. And I also want to just make a comment. I've been following PlugPro for quite a while, and just the work of course, the Wolfie and his team. And one thing I know about Wolfie, if I could say anything about him, it's execution. He's the executioner. So him and his team. One thing for sure.
Thanks, man.
You will not. You will not be unimpressed or with whatever he's coming out with the product, rest assured that he's going to execute it and make sure that the platform is actually working, and he's putting his name on it. So for him to come out with a company is a big thing. So for those who are trying to understand how they can make money in crypto, if you can't back this project and you're in another project, this represents us all going into the future of how we make mass adoption happen with this type of tool. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, man.
Right on. Tony, great questions, man. I want to go with Nima next.
Hey everybody. Thanks for having me, Mo. Guys, you guys have a pretty legitimate company. I really like what's going on. There's definitely a strong need for legitimate talent within the Web3 space. A question that I had regarding the whole like staking mechanism and the KYC accounts. Could you kind of elaborate a little bit more on that? I know you said in order to get access to those KYC individuals, you would need to stake. Just want to learn a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, of course. So we're going to have a section called the gallery, right? It's going to be KYC seed projects. And right now on version 1, you don't have to stake to gain access to it. You just pay a one-time fee of 300 BUSD, and now you have access to it. So those projects are all going to be vetted through us before we list them. Unlike, crypto moonshots on Reddit where anyone in the world can post. Even if you rugged it a week ago, you can still post it again. So that's not going to be the gallery, though. There's going to be some rules and requirements that projects have to go through in order to list on the gallery. Now, KYC individuals, there's nothing you have to do to look at them. That's on the people that are doing the listing themselves. So if I am selling a service, I'm going to pay for the platinum membership a week so I get the option to KYC. But that's at no cost to people that are viewing those individuals. You just have to pay the $10 listing view every time you view a listing.
Got it. And if I pay 300 once today, does that guarantee me like lifetime like membership, or do I have to later get the tokens and stake?
On the gallery?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the $300 up front will be a lifetime membership. Yes.
Sweet.
Right now. But the second that we go to staking it, the people the originals that paid the 300 will be grandfathered in. We'll make sure that they're grandfathered in so they don't have to stake. But everyone coming in new will have to stake for that. And there's going to be other various things that we're going to get creative with the PlugPro token to make it worth holding and buying for sure.
Yeah, that would be good, especially for someone who paid, let's say, for example, 300 upfront for that lifetime guarantee. If there's any way to create some sort of like token or NFT that represents that.
Exactly.
Cool. And then last thing, what you might have already stated this, and apologize if I'm making you guys repeat, but how do you do KYC? Do you guys use like a non-FIDO or a third party? Do you do it in-house?
Yeah, so we're going to start off the first, coupled to probably the first 30 days and see like what the demand is and if it's feasible or efficient to manually do it. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do it manually. And then we're going to transition to that third-party contracting company to do it all.
Nice.
If we're getting thousands of new users a day, that is not feasible to manually do ourselves.
Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Great job, guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nima.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So we got a question from one of our core team members, Aki. Aki, take it away, man.
Yeah. Cheers, Noah. So I've been listening in, and it's super nice to see like people with really good experience bringing such a nice project to market, and I can totally see it going from to great lengths. But one of the things that I like most of these services, I'm wondering because it's super easy, say for someone that's building a website, to prove that they've built it up to par, right? And they've passed over ownership and all the good stuff. But I'm wondering about the smaller guys, right? You've mentioned you're going to have people there that are doing smaller jobs like moderating TGs and stuff like that. How would someone like that go about to claiming their escrow money? Because
That's
it's not
a
as easy to prove that, yeah, I've been moderating, I've been doing my job and doing all this. Will you have some sort of metrics in place for all these services, or how will that work?
So not at first. No, that's a really good question. And that was one of the that was the main argument I had when going over with the platform dev of why like an escrow function's necessary, why it's not. So things like that where moderators or devs might be getting paid weekly or something like that, they don't have to go through that. They can just they can do their own back channel thing, because you have to pay the $10 to even view that person's listing, right? And then you get access to their contact information. After that, you guys, the buyer and seller can talk via Telegram. We're not like Fiverr where all this on an inner chat system, and certain words get banned to where you can't share contact information. We're not doing that, because you got to think, once the person paid to list their services and then the buyer pays to view the listing, the platform's made all of our money, the lister's made his money. So for moderators and stuff, or project managers that might be getting paid on a weekly basis or a different negotiation outside of the platform, that's fine. They just skip all that.
Right. I love that. So true to the name, right? It's a plug. You're putting connections there, and people can just go on back channels and deal with everything themselves after that. Yeah, it sounds
Exactly.
super good. Yeah, it sounds nice. Yeah, I like it.
Sweet. Great question, Acti. I want to do one more from K Dot. K Dot, actually, I just called you up here, but it looks like it put you back down. What I've noticed with Twitter Spaces is if someone requests to speak and you pick them, it takes a bit, it buffers. All right, K Dot, wait. K Dot, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my question is based on the token the tokenomics of your token. Did you guys kind of held like a private C round before the pre-sale? And if you had like what for the private C round?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time understanding that question. Did someone else get that?
K-Dot, can you repeat that, please?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm just like asking. Before the pre-sale, I know some of these projects, what they do is they actually do like a private seed round, like a private pre-sale. I want to get an event like that, and what's like the vesting period? Like, what would be like the release date?
So I got your question. That's a good question too. So we didn't end up doing a pre-sale. We did a stealth launch. Now there were some private investors from the pre-sale, because we did have a private sale, and like 90% of them got refunded. I think it was only the team members, mostly, and a few stragglers that participated in the private sale. And no one, so everyone, this is what I mean, that we're trying to set a new standard here, is people are used to, teams getting 3% bags for free and airdrops. No one got anything crazy outside the core team. And even the core team, they weren't given bags that if they went rogue and sold all at once, that we couldn't buy back our tax money immediately to rectify the situation. Projects give so many bags out that they can't control it. And that was one thing that I wanted to be sure of. That was a priority that we didn't do. So there's a handful of people that had a private sale, and they were all very, very small amounts. We refunded like almost all the privates from the pre-sale because we didn't do pre-sale. We went to stealth. And even when we stealthed, the few people that got the privates, they weren't even that happy because they got a better rate on the pre-sale than they did the stealth launch private. So that was there's no way to make everyone happy on that, you know. So I hope that answers your question. And
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's clear. If I can ask another question, I want to know how do you guys go about the payment of those that are actually listed on your platforms before being picked up for a job. Let me say if I applied for a particular job and I get selected by a company that's looking for such a position. How do you guys guarantee that such company will pay the individual that apply for the job?
so that's a good question. Here's the process that someone's going to go through. They're going to go to our platform site, right? They're going to pay a fee, whether they do the 5, 20, or 35 BUSD fee per week. You're going to pay that, and then you're going to fill out a form. All right, that form is going to be compiled into your listing. So say if I'm the developer and you're a designer, and I'm scrolling through and I'm looking for a designer, I'm scrolling through all the people that are listed under graphic design, and I see you. So yearly, I'm going to have to pay 10 BUSD to view it. You're going to get $2 of that, and then I'm going to view your listing. On your listing, I want to be able to see how you sold yourself, right? Your title, your description, your sample work, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm going to click buy, or I'm going to contact you to negotiate a price. Once I click buy, say if you wanted $100 for a logo, right? Because you're a designer. I'm going to deposit $100. Once I click buy, it's going to bring up my wallet, and it's going to make me put that money that you charged into an escrow. An escrow account's like a middleman account, right? So once it's deposited into the escrow account, once the work is done, that's when the buyer will go and approve the payment, right? And if there's any issues, then we can manually approve it. That's how you're going to get your money.
Sorry, Wolfie. Yeah, and one more thing that I wanted to add to that. So, first of all, there's a huge benefit, right? Because you, as a service provider, you get paid in a stable amount, right? So it's not like you're gonna get paid in BNB, and then tomorrow you get a certain price, and then once the project is done, now it's less. No, you're gonna get what you ask for, right? So that's just one of the benefits of using our platform. The other thing that I wanted to mention, I think you were asking about applying for jobs, right? So currently we don't have that capability on version 1, right? So where people are going to be able to post a service, somebody looking for a service. You actually going to post a service that you provide in our platform, and then people are going to hire you to perform that service. We're definitely considering for nations, right, the possibility to have the other way around as well, where plugs themselves could potentially maybe bet on a particular search of a job that somebody is posting. So stick with us, follow us, consider creating accounts, because there's a lot of things that are coming. There's definitely a lot of things that are coming.
All right. Thanks, man. I'll do well to follow you guys on Telegram.
Wolfie, Morpheus, that brings us to the end of the AMA. I want to thank you both so much for being with us today. I think this is a really cool concept. I'm really excited to see it come to life. And, down the line, 6 months, 1 year, when you guys have built out more and you want to come and do a follow-up AMA with Whale Coin Talk, you're always welcome. Before I get to the awards and prizes and all that good stuff, you want to give us a quick summary of who you are, what you're building, and why people should consider getting involved with your project.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys probably don't see me because I'm on the official account, but my name's Wolfie. I'm the founder and CEO of PlugPro, and we are building a decentralized Web3 freelancer platform and centralizing all of the talent and professionals in the space.
Beautiful, concise and to the point. So, Whale Coin Talk community, we're going to do actually a couple giveaways here. These giveaways are going to work differently per AMA. Sometimes we're going to have you comment on the Twitter announcement and pick randomly. And sometimes we have people come in and ask really good questions. And today we're going to kind of go with the latter. I believe that we had Tony and Nima ask some really incredible questions. So gentlemen, when the AMA concludes, shoot me a DM with your wallet addresses and we will send over 0.5 BNB to each of you. I really appreciate that you guys listened to the AMA and you guys had some well thought out questions. It really helped the quality of the broadcast. And I know that is also doing a giveaway. So gentlemen, I'll pass you the mic and let you go ahead and do that now.
Thanks again, guys. Thanks, Will, Coin Talk, and thanks again, PlugPro. That's awesome.
Right on, brother.
Yeah, thank you. We'll probably go the same route. We're giving away 25 million PlugPro tokens to 5 different people. Nima, Tony, I hope Morpheus, can you get this for me? I don't have a pen and paper. Whoever's next to a pen and paper, can you write these names so we can contact either you or Charizard? So Nima, Tony, Captain Levi, K-Dot, and Acti. You guys were the 5 questions, I believe.
Nice. Thanks. Definitely going to join your community and utilize the service that you guys have.
That's pretty cool. Thanks a lot, PlugPro. Thanks a lot, Morpheus.
All right, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Great. Well, everyone's happy. Again, PlugPro team, thank you so much for being with us today. Whale Coin Talk and PlugPro communities, thank you for listening in. Thank you guys for the amazing questions. Always remember that Whale Coin Talk is a news and educational Web3 group. We do not give financial advice. We are here to educate you and teach you about various crypto projects from across the space that come upon our podium and tell us about what they're building. So always remember to do your own diligence and invest only what you're willing to lose. We have another Twitter Spaces coming up in 2 days, I believe, with Huxley Comics.